What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ty behind the camera from Ty Drives, and today I bring you a really neat vehicle and sort of the first driving impressions for me on this vehicle. I've never driven one of these. I've never, been in one even until today. So this is really truly going to be our first driving impressions of the new Defender. I'm saying new, it's been out for a little while, but I haven't been able to get my hands on one yet. But yeah, so let's take this thing out for a drive. Now, if you're looking for a dedicated features review, I went through this entire vehicle, and you could find that review on my channel. Just go to Ty Drives, and it will be there at the same time I'm uploading this video. So if you want a dedicated features, all the exterior, the interior, under the hood, everything like that, in the trunk, rear seats, all the buttons, switches, what everything does, go check my channel. That video is for you. But if you want to see me drive this vehicle and give you some impressions, let's go. So throughout this test drive, I'm going to kind of take you around in some back roads. We'll get a good feel for it on sort of faster paced driving, 45, 50 miles an hour. See what it's like up at that speed. Get a good turning circle test, and we'll also get an acceleration test too. Pretty good bumpy and twisty roads around here too. So we'll definitely check those out too. So a little bit about this Defender. It is the P400 powertrain, which means it's a turbocharged inline 6, 395 horsepower, I believe. So pretty good amount of horsepower, getting pretty close to that 400 figure, which means it gets up and goes pretty good, just taking it up the street quick before this video. But first impressions, the engine transmission is very smooth. So it's the inline 6. Inline 6 tend to be more of a smooth powertrain than a V6, and that definitely shows. Transmission is very smooth too. Pretty good turning circle for a vehicle of this size as well. For the next part, we'll get it up on the main road here. We'll hopefully hit 45, 50 miles an hour depending on our lovely traffic. Steering is very light. Not too light, not crazy light, but it is definitely on the lighter side. Pretty decent ratio to the steering wheel too. It's not super tight or anything like that, but it gets the job done. This inline 6 is part of the new Ignium series of engines from Jaguar Land Rover, and it's my first time driving one of these cars with an engine like that as well. I drove in for the 4-cylinder Ignium series engines, but never the 6-cylinder, and it's pretty good so far, very smooth. Now we have the lane keep assist active. Let's see if it will keep us in the lanes here. We have nobody coming. And it does a very good job with keeping us in the lanes. Now, it did seem we went a little bit over the lane, but as soon as it detected that, kind of steered us over and back into our lane. So pretty good system there for the lane keep. And it's actually very quiet in here. If you were to compare this vehicle to a Wrangler, it is miles and miles ahead of a Wrangler. But then again, you do pay for it. I would definitely take one of these over any Wrangler. Wind noise, there is a little bit. It's kind of like you're driving a brick on wheels. So you do hear a little bit of wind noise coming from the mirrors. Not a lot of tire noise, though, so that's pretty good. At this point in the video, we're going to test out that just under 400 horsepower. We're kind of bumped the shifter over, which doesn't put us into a manual mode, but it does put us into a sport transmission mode. So what I like to do is I'll get the car up to 25. We'll punch it, see how fast the gearbox reacts, and see how fast we can get up to 60. So pretty brisk acceleration. You kind of feel the suspension squat back a bit and just kind of lurch forward, get the turbos to spool up, or the turbo rather to spool up, and kind of just goes. Transmission reacts fairly quickly. It's no dual clutch or anything like that, and it's definitely not a performance car by any means. It's got quite the soft and kind of supple suspension, which is very good for going around the off-roading trails. But yeah, you could definitely feel the power. It's pretty good. 400 horsepower, you know, you could definitely feel it. It's no race car or anything, but for this size of vehicle, it goes pretty well. And if you're looking for a different engine option, you know, maybe more economical choice, they make a Turbo 4 with just under 300 horsepower, and they also have a supercharged V8 with just over 500 horsepower. So that would definitely be my choice, but this 6-cylinder definitely has plenty of power. Really nice riding car so far through these bumps here. Pretty good alliteration of a New England back road is this road we're traveling on right here, meaning that it's curvy, it's bumpy, and there's quite a bit of elevation change. So if you live up here in New England, this car would be just fine. Now we do have some twisties coming up here, some pretty decent corners, and if this was anything closer to a sports car than what it is now, I would take them at a decent speed just to let you know how it handles. But I really don't think anybody watching this video cares how it takes the corners. So a little bit of, quite a bit of body roll, but it's a very composed ride, despite the body roll. Now we're kind of getting to the bumpiest part of the road test here. This particular one is riding on 20-inch wheels, so not the largest wheels that you can get, and also not the smallest, but it does take the bumps rather nice. There's still quite a bit of sidewall for these tires. So yeah, it does actually ride very nicely. And you get a really nice commanding seating position too, from this sort of upright seat design. Just a really unique vehicle to drive, and you know, driving a Wrangler is kind of out of the ordinary. You know, once you get in this, you have an out of the ordinary vehicle, of course, but it doesn't really drive that much different, and that is personally what I would be looking for with driving a vehicle like this, because, you know, let's face it, a lot of these vehicles aren't going to ever touch off-road surfaces. They're just going to be used for, you know, putzing around town or highway cruises and things like that, which this car does perfectly in. And it's also more than capable of handling lots and lots of off-road situations. Definitely, I would suggest to you, if you want to know more about the Defender, all the features it has to offer, definitely go check out my channel, Ty Drives, where we did a devoted features review of this car. Quite a bit of features you get from this vehicle too, and super rugged exterior and interior design. Just a really cool, really cool vehicle. It's very hard to find these that are for sale, and if they are for sale, you know, you'll get $15, $20, $25, maybe even $30,000 above the MSRP you'll be paying for these. So it's kind of a hard vehicle to get. kind of shocked how quiet it is in here with the wind noise. And this really does have the aerodynamics of a brick, which usually produces lots of wind noise, but not so much in this case. So this produces some pretty neat turbo noises too. So what are my wrap-up thoughts on the driving impressions of the Defender? So, nothing crazy, no surprises here, which is a good thing. You know, when you drive a Wrangler, I keep going back to the Wrangler, but when you drive a Wrangler, you kind of get shocked. It doesn't really drive like anything else on the road, and for me personally, I don't like it. This is more of a traditional SUV driving experience, which I like. And if that's what you're looking for, a Defender is definitely the vehicle for you. Really cool looks both inside and out, and it drives very nicely. So with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed the Defender just as much as I have. I also hope you check out the other video that I made again on my channel, just doing a bunch of features review. And I also hope you stay with us here at Ty Drives for more videos just like this one.